Hello, Terry. Welcome to Money Monday, my man. How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Do you have a hangover, or a food hangover from the Super Bowl, or what?
No, I didn't. I didn't drink and I didn't eat that much, but and it was a good game. I actually wanted the Philadelphia to win, but still a good game.
Yeah, second game in a row that the Kansas City team benefits from a late penalty from the opposing team.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
I,
Instantaneously on Twitter, rigged was trending. Terry, what do you think about that?
yeah, sometimes I think that might be happening. I mean, if like there was a play that the referees, looked at, which was a pass, and they overturned it from being a pass to a, incomplete. And in the 49er game the week before, that was even more evident that it was incomplete. And they didn't look at that one. So pretty funny.
Parx, not sure jockeys are going to run well today after the loss. I think they're still crying. It could well be, Charles, that they are crying today. Although I know a lot of them. I know Jamie Ness and his horse. I think they're all Cowboys fans down there. So they actually might be happy, a lot of them. I know we talked to Frankie Pennington. He's a Cowboys fan. So maybe Frankie Pennington is going to have a huge day because Frankie Pennington is going to be fired up that those Eagles lost. So.
Yeah.
And the reason we know that is because Frankie was a guest on the Horse Center show tonight at 8 p.m. Like always, we'll have another Horse Center show with trainer Justin Evans. He's got a lot of wins, maybe a trainer you haven't heard a lot about, but over 2,000 wins so far, Terry. That'll be on 8 p.m. Eastern with Swiss Army Sean and Forever Wild Jamie. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, and you will not miss those shows. And you'll find out that some jockeys don't like the Eagles, even though they live in Philadelphia.
That's true. A lot of times they come from different parts of the country or from out of the country, so you just never know.
It's amazing the things that we've learned on that Horse Center show. It's a favorite of mine as well. All right, Terry, Jared, win his bets, Rich. He put some in. I didn't really look at all of them. He couldn't make it on Friday night. He said he had a lot going on, so I don't really know what he did or what he didn't do. I'll go back and look at it. I know I went 3-for-1. 3-1. I got the coin toss right, tails. I got the first jersey score under 11.5 right. I got the total correct over. The only thing I got wrong was the first challenge, and I feel like the only reason I didn't get that first challenge right is because the catch with Miles Sanders, when he dropped it, they auto-reviewed it instead of after they called it a touchdown for the defense. If they had let it go, I'm sure the coach would have challenged that one as well. But I'll take 3-1 on Super Bowl Sunday, Terry. What about you?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it worked out. That's good.
Profitable way to go out, man. It gives you,
it is.
It's like when you play golf. You have a crappy 17 holes. Because this year wasn't my best year. I'm going to be down maybe like $400 or $500 for the year. Most of it being juice. And but it was not my best year. So like golf, when you play golf, you can do 17 holes and they suck. For some reason, that 18th hole you play like Tiger Woods, it's just kind of like that. It's like that devil on your shoulder that just lures you back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like horse racing. You could lose 6 in a row and then win 2 in a row that pay pretty darn good, and all of a sudden you're back on top.
And you feel like the king at that point. All right, well, let's see if we can be the king of Parx today, Terry. Really good segue. We didn't even practice it, but let's give it a rip. First race today. Well, the track is going to be fast and firm. Not a whole lot of scratches today, so Terry and I were thrilled about that. First race is 1 mile and 70 yards. It's claiming $15,000. The purse is $30,000. And at 1 mile and 70 yards, the sort of horse that typically wins does have a little bit of tactical speed, 32%, so good number, go wire to wire. There is a strong rail bias, post 2 through 7, play fair, 8 and out. There's a penalty. Let's go with the simulator and see what the simulator says for race number 1. Terry, again, 1,000 races using the speed figures, and we go ahead and do a simulation for that to figure out what fair odds might be. And then 1,000 simulations for early speed to see who's going to be where at the quarter-mile marker. So what do you see?
Yeah, it looks like to me like the 2, 4, and the 7 are going to be going out to the front, especially the 2 and the 4. And then for overlays, you've got a pretty nice overlay on that 4. It's supposed to be a little bit over even money, and they've got it at 5-1 on the morning line. So I think the 8 and the 4 may just go head and head, and the 7 might set behind them and try to catch them, although those are not the ones that I particularly like.
No, those aren't the ones for you. Hello from Turkey. Hey, how you guys doing over there? You guys doing better now? I know that the big tragedy over there, as Terry and I mentioned all last week, our thoughts and prayers were with our friends from Turkey. So hopefully things are starting to improve and the worst is over. Have a great angle. If favorites look too good in a claimer at Parx, strong fade, they save conditions for a new owner. All right, well, let's mark that one down, Terry, in the book.
All right.
Let's see if indeed that does work out today for us. Well, Charles, I know when Charles talks, we have to listen for sure. Let's look at our way to the winner circle pace sheet again. This is the way the horses like to win. So the E horses want to be on the lead. They go wire to wire. EP types can go wire to wire, or they can sit right off the pace. And it looks like these two, they're squared off. They have some early speed. The PC types, the P types are co-pilots. They don't want to go wire to wire, but they sit in the shadow of the leaders. This whole group right here, these PC types, these are the most versatile horses. They can be anywhere on the track and win. And then, of course, the closers are in here. Got some more speed here with the 4 and the 6. So I think this race, Terry, when it opens up the gates, has a really good shot to go fast, which might open the door for a horse that wants to come from off the pace.
Yeah, I agreed. I like the number 8 to start with. She's won 2 out of the last 4 races. She ran second versus similar in her last race. Has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer who in the last 7 days has won 7 out of 16 starts. Then I like number 2. Moonchild is my second choice. She has an early.
You're going to say your second child.
I almost did.
Didn't somebody like Sharon Sonny Bono? Wasn't there a kid named Moonbeam or something like that? Or was that Frank Zappa? Yeah, Frank Zappa's kid.
Yeah, Zappa. Yeah. Anyway, this filly, she ran. She has an early foot, and she finished third versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the times when he brings back a beaten favorite again. And the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 8 starts. Then I like number 3, Tiz the Sharpie, is my third pick. She's a closer who ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has the highest speed figure at today's distance. I like the long shot number 4, Summary Judgment. She has finished in the money in her last 4 races, winning one of those and running second in her last race. So I'm going to play a dollar double. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, and 8 with the 3, 7.
All right, so let's get cracking in race number 1 with number 8, Abadale. Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera. Haven't seen a whole lot of that combination lately, but this one's coming in for Laurel Park. Third race off the bench. Let's see what it can do. Charles's favorite angle, our Charles. Summary Judgment, that 4 horse is catching a big 10-pound weight break. It does have some early speed. A big weight break and early speed can be a very powerful combination. Number 2, that Frank Zappa, Moonchild. At Parx, 9 times out, 3 wins, 4 thirds in there. Was a favorite last time out, but got beat. But the numbers internally were better across the board. And then finally, number 7, Chewy Good is my 4th choice. Could be a part of the early pace. And what's interesting to me about this horse is jockey Silvestre Gonzalez got off the 3 and the 6 to ride the 7. And the 3 and the 6, the 7, they were all kind of in there tight for me. So I went with the one that the jockey chose. I'm going to do, because I feel like some of these early races are a little bit more wide open than the back half of the card, a $1 exacta, 2, 4, 7, 8 over the 4, 8, because I've been learning my lesson. When I'm not completely sold on the third horse, I go ahead and do the trifecta and kept losing that one when hitting the exacta. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. So prime example here is the 8 is a favorite, strong fade, claimed 4 wins. So yeah, let's see if indeed that does work out. You like the 4 to win this race. I got the 4 in there second. So let's see if that indeed is the case today. I hope it does. And the favorite runs off the board. And then I get a nice backdoor exacta with the 2, well, if the 4 wins, I need the 8 to come in second, hit my bet there, Terry.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. And then race number 2 on the Philadelphia Ben Salem card is 7 furlongs. 7 furlongs of a claiming 12,500. Non-winners of 2. The purse here is 24 grand. 7 furlong winners typically have some early speed, a lot of early speed, as a matter of fact, because 45% here, that's a big number, go wire to wire. There's a slight rail penalty, so maybe Maxim Moment won't get the benefit of post position. But 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out are fairish. Again, speed here, Terry, kills. So the fastest horses could have a big shot here.
All right. Well, you can see there that the 2 and the 8 have the most speed. I actually think, even though it shows the 2's got more of the speed at the quarter, or most likely be in front. I actually think that the 8's going to outbreak that too. And then as far as overlays go, I think there's a small overlay on the 5, and there's a pretty nice overlay on the 9 and the 10.
Indeed, yes, the 10, 5 to 1 morning line looks like it should be closer to 6 to 7 to 5. In that race number 1, Cartel Turk likes the 8, the 1, and the 3. And in race 2, the 9, the 7, and the 1, which is where we are right now in race number 2. Looking at our way to the winner's circle pace sheet, here we see a lot of horses in this race want to be closing type, so a little bit more towards the back. You do have a little bit of early speed with that 2, and Terry mentioned he likes the 8 in there to compete. That's what the recency bias says, and you got 2 sitting right here in the middle that should get good trips. This whole field should get good trips. The one wild card in here for me is this 4 horse. It is a closer whose early pace puts the horse a little bit closer to the front than usual. It's a left arrow horse. I'm not 1,000% sure that the horse is going to compete in here, Terry. We'll find out and see what you think in your picks.
Well, I actually like the 7 horse, Mizaman. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 3 is my second choice, ran second versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has been in the money 50% of the time. He's won 3 of those races. So anyway, number 10 is my third choice. He's been knocking at the door, finishing in the money in the last 4 races. He ran second in his last race, and he's earned the highest speed rating in that race. And then number 1 is my third, my long shot maximum moment completed. He competed in his first race at Parx Racing, and he finished a nice second. So I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 3, 7, and 10 with a 1, 4, 6. I'm going to single the 1 in the 4th race and then use the 3, 5, 6, 7.
So you see Terry's pick 4, 3, 7, 10 in this leg, 1, 4, 6 next up, and then singling the 1 down the line. So a little bit of foreshadowing, as they say in the TV business, with the 3, 5, the 6, and the 7. I like in race number 2, just like you, Terry, the 7 horse as my top selection. This one is Mizaman. Missed by a nose in that last race. And those last 4 races have been really consistent. So the horse seems to have found its groove, although it looks like it might be a little bit of a underpriced at 4 to 1. So maybe hopefully for both of us, it goes up to 26 to 1 and wins. Number 10, St. Marco, top last race speed figure, running at Parx 3 times since coming over from the Maryland tracks with a win in a couple of seconds. So that one's due to find the Ben Salem winner's circle. Number 2, Jovial, doesn't look like it on paper, but when you measure it multiple ways, both in recency bias and our sim, this one could be the pace setter at a distance where 45% go wire to wire, and post 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. And then finally, number 6, Son of a Beast. Rough trip last out, so we'll see if it gets a better trip today, which could be the difference. I'm going to do, again, a $1 exacta, 2, 6, 7, 10 over the 7 and 10, because I do feel like I wrote down on my sheet here, if we look back here, I wrote down this is an all race to me because I really felt like a lot of horses can win in this spot, Terry. Next up is race number 3, and our Charles he says he's got a nice pick for us here in race number 3, Terry. Let's see what Charles says in race number 2. Oh, sorry, this is race 2. He said that was a typo. So let's race 2. Charles likes the 10, 9, 3 for a box. Fade the 4 and 7. Race 3, fade 4 and 7, box 10, 9, and 3. The 10 is going to score the win. Fantastic. Let's see. We play races from Turkey, and we listen to your nice comments. Thank you, Cartel. We appreciate your picks, too, there when you put them up. So if, like Charles and Cartel, you have some picks, share them with us. Hello, everybody in the group. Greetings from Venezuela. Thanks, Juan. And we were all over the world today. Latinos try to see and appreciate the information they give, but not many like me do understand English. Can anyone from the chat speak Spanish? We're actually working on trying to get somebody to speak Spanish for our shows, Juan, and do Spanish-only shows. I don't know if you have Twitter, but my Twitter feed is HRT Rich at Twitter. DM me if it's something you're interested in doing, because we'd love to have some Spanish content. Thank you, Grandma. We appreciate that today. Appreciate the information. What picks they give us to races. Example, race 1, 4, 8, and 1. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So you'll see our picks up on the screen. streaming today, Grandma? Grandma might be up live. All right, so we're on race number 3 now, right, Terry?
That's correct.
All right, so let's move forward to race 3, which is 6 furlongs, and we're going to get a belly full of these 6 furlong races. So pay attention to race number 3, which is an allowance $8,000. The purse here is 30 grand. 6 furlong winners. Again, we're going to get a bunch of them in a row here. Basically, stalkers have been the way to go here, not necessarily on the lead, although 31% go wire to wire. Post position, rail, and 4 through 7 are fair. 2 and 3 get a little bit of underperformance, and 8 and out get a bonus in here. Terry, early speed again goes wire to wire, though tactical speed might be a little bit better.
Yeah, it looks like the 2. Let's see. I don't think you're on the right. Is this the right race?
I'm on race 3, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know why I have it different here, but it looks like the 2 and the 7 have the most speed. So, and I think maybe they might go head and head. So they may just run each other into the ground. And then I think that the 2, the 1 and the 7 both have a pretty good overlay. So
yes, indeed, it does look like that 7 5-2 morning line closer to 1-1. That's not bad. And on that 1 horse Diesel, maybe a good contest horse at 9-2, 2-1. So if you can get anything over 2-1 on that horse, it might be a good bargain for you. Our pace figures, our race shape here shows that the trio of horses here, the 1, the 2, and the 7, they all have early speed. They all don't necessarily need the lead. So those horses can kind of be patient and kind of jostle with each other and see what kind of happens. If they go too fast, this 3 horse back here is going to be very happy about that. An 8-point late pace advantage over everybody else, although the 7 has the best combination of early speed and late speed. Terry, how do you see this one playing out at the wire?
Well, I like the number 4 as my first pick, Osprey. He is perfect at Parx, winning 3 out of 3 starts here. He likes the distance and has a high percentage winning trainer, Michael Moore. And then I like number 6, Stugard. He can either lead or come from off the pace, which is an angle I really like to win a race. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The number 1, Diesel, the one you were referring to, has won 4 out of the last 5 races, has the highest last speed rating, and he drops in class today. Number 5 is my long shot. Has been off for 2 months, but likes park racing, winning 3 out of 5 starts here. And he had a 3rd in his last start, has a decent workout February 1st. And no bets for me in this race.
No bets in race number 3 for Terry. I'm going to put some money on a double here coming up. And I'm going to start off with the 1 horse Diesel. Got some early wheels in this race. Top last race speed figure. Going to drop in class. And according to the simulator, some good value there too. Osprey, number 4 horse, is undefeated in 3 at Parx since coming up the coast from Florida, where I was not too long ago. That content should be out fairly soon. I spent like 6 hours, Terry, 7 hours, man, on editing stuff on Saturday and Sunday for like 3 minutes of video. Oh, my Lord. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Number 7 is that 3rd choice here. Get the W. This is a 10-year-old horse, Terry. This is like the horse version of you and me out there. A 10-year-old. It's the other to tie for the top last race speed figure. And man, for a 10-year-old, this brother's consistent, man. He does really well. Strugard, the 6 horse. This one could not pass the 7 last time out. Maybe the horse will be a little bit better in the second Parx try, but those horses are herd animals. And, sometimes they can't beat one. They don't think they should go buy it the next time out either. I'm going to do a $1 double with the 1, 4, and 7. And in the next leg, the 1 and the 5. And that next leg for us, Terry, is going to indeed be race number 4. We're about 5 minutes away from the first race at Parx. So let's get through race number 4, Terry, and then we'll go ahead and do our best to tell you what happens in Parx in race number 4. I'll do my best race call possible. Again, another 6 furlong race. You find tactical speed wins about a 1/3 to go wire to wire, Terry. You do have a little bit of a post position problem if you're going from 2 and 3, but everything else is a little bit fair. 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. In race number 4, let's take a look at how the early race might shake out.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed in this race. It looks like the 1, 2, 4, and 7 are going to go out there and try to go away with it. And also the 6 has got a little bit of chance there. And it looks like to me the 1's a really good overlay, and then the 5 is kind of an overlay too. Pretty nice. So
indeed. So Melvin is starting in race 1. He has a pick 5 at Parx. The 2, the 8, and the 10 over the 6 and 10 over the 2, over the 1, 5, and then the 5. Good luck with that, Melvin. Again, if you have picks like Charles, Melvin, Grandma, you got some picks for us today too. Juan Carlos, everybody, let us know what you like. We appreciate all the input, and then tell us why you like it too. Give us some insights in how you think in terms of your betting and your wagering and your handicapping strategies. In race number 4, we see this race, Terry, is front loaded. Look at all of this speed in here, Terry. Everybody wants to be near the front. If you're looking at the fastest one, it might be the 1 horse in here. It has a +5 early pace advantage at the half-mile marker, so should be on the lead with a couple of furlongs to go. If all these guys are blazing too fast, look at this 5 sitting over here. It is a PC horse, so it's very versatile, meaning it can, if they go too fast, be patient. If they go too slow, get involved early. But he's got a +7 late pace advantage. With all this speed, that 5 horse should get a very good trip. Does it get a very good spot in your picks?
Well, I like the number 1 as my top pick. He's got lots of speed. Prince Philip. He likes the track, finishing in the money 72% of the time here, winning 36% of the starts. He can handle this distance as he's finished 100% of the time in the money at this distance, and he's won 33% of those starts. Then I like that number 5 horse. Hate Me. He hate me. Mm-hmm. He has finished in the money in 5 out of 6 races, winning 3 of the races, finishing a disappointing 4th in his last race, but he had an excuse as he was off really slow and had to steady. Then I like number 2 as my third pick, Redeem Eddie. He switches to high percentage winning jockey and has a good 4 prolonged workout on February 6th. And then number 8 is my next my long shot. Had trouble in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $5 to win on the number 1.
All right, I'm going to start off with He Hate Me from the USFL fame way back in the days of like Herschel Walker and the New Jersey Generals. He Hate Me did run the top last race. Speed figure maybe builds on it in the second start off the bench. Does have that strong late pace in a field full of fast horses. So I think that one should get a great trip. Number 1, the one you like, Terry, Prince Flip. Mixed results. This one has mixed results in second races off the sidelines. Some are good, some are bad. Maybe the 5-point early pace edge here at 4 furlongs can make this one of the good variety. Number 2, Redeem Eddie. For whatever reason, he needs to be redeemed. But his last race was better than it looks in the past performances. And he's making our good friend Charles, Charming Charles, of horse racing today. Classic third start off a layoff. Charming Charles's favorite handicapping angle. And then finally put the glass down. Some very good advice, probably in about third or fourth quarter yesterday. This horse has some regression in the last 2 races. And I do think it is a bounce back candidate here today in race 4. I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 4 here, Terry. I'm going to go 1-5 in this first race with the 1, 4, 5, 9, and 10 the next leg with the 2, 5, and then the 1, 6. So I feel like that. I really wanted that all this upcoming leg, but I just couldn't afford it, Terry, with our $100 budget.
Yeah.
Because we do a $100 budget. With that budget, go to the track and see what we can do with it. Like if we're going to the track on a cheap date. All right, race number 5. Terry, I don't see if we have time to go off to race number 5. How close are they to loading in the gates here?
1 minute.
1 minute. Let me just check out the video if they're close or not. We can at least set up race 5. Yeah, we got time. We could probably go through race 5 if we zip through it. So race number 5, it is let me put the right race number up on the screen. So when we go back and check at the times, race 5, again, another 6 furlonger. You want stalkers. Post position really doesn't hurt much, so it doesn't really matter where you go. Let's look at the early speed according to the simulations in this deep race, Terry.
All right. And looks like to me like the 10, 1, 7, and 5 have lots of speed. So 10 has probably the most speed of all of them. And then it looks like the only really overlay to me is the 9. That's pretty decent overlay. So
yeah, 5 to 1 morning line, closer to maybe 5 to 2 being fair value according to our simulations.
Yeah.
If we go ahead and Sorry, this is my pick 5. 2, 4, 8 with the 6, 10 with the 2 with the 1, 5, the 5, 6, 9, and 10. And this first race is coming up kind of quickly here. So we've gone through this. Let's go ahead and pull up our picks for race number 1 again. Terry and I both like the 8. Well, Charles says this is an excellent candidate for his new handicapping angle at Parx, where you fade the favorite in these claiming races because they want to save it for the next one. And then the 4, 2, 7 for me, and the 2, 3, 4 for Terry. Race number 1, they're just about in the gates, just about ready to go. So let's see what happens when the gates open and the dirt flies. I think they're just waiting on that favorite, the 8 horse. And then they'll be ready to go.
Okay.
And the anticipation is building, but the 3 horses acting up, holding everybody at hostage. The 8 horse not very happy either at the moment. Looks like they've all settled down. Nobody's misbehaving. It just looks like they got to get the 6 a little bit organized because he don't want to put his head straight. They finally got him. He's not cooperating. Is that the 6 or the 7? I think it's the 6 horse. Finally, everybody's, I don't know. They're having some struggles in this first race, getting them ready to go. Maybe today. Yeah, they're still messing around with that 6 horse. I guess he don't want to straighten his head out because you can see that there's I think that maybe he was like stuck against something because the starting assistant had to get in front of him, push him back. So it looks like they're ready to go, and they're off. And the 6 still managed to get off to a sluggish start. The 5 horse is indeed on the lead as we projected, along with the 2. So the 2 is the one that takes the early lead into the first turn, followed by the 4 there, Summary Judgment. The 5, 3 wide. You got a whole bunch of horses that are going about 5 wide on the rail. The 6 horse is saving some ground, so could be in a good position there. The 2 is out on the front. 2 an easy lead so far, followed by the 4 horse, Summary Judgment, then the 1, Chelsea Wall. And then behind that, you have the 6, and I'm not quite sure, that opening quarter for this 1.70 race in 24. That's the 5 horse. As they come down the backstretch, the 2 is now joined in company by the 4 horse. Summary Judgment is those 2 are probably 2, 3.5, 2, 3 lengths ahead of the rest of the pack, and they're starting to pull away from the group a bit. The 8 horse, that favorite that Charles B said we should fade, is way in the back of the race. So that angle looks like it's going to play out in this race. 2 horse on the lead still through the half in 48-3, although the 4 is starting to back up. So it looks like this is the 2 horses race to win. The 5 horse, a long shot coming up on the outside there, may be going to be a part of this before the race is over. It looks like he's gaining a lot of ground on that 2 horse. The question is, how much of the 2 did the jockey hold on to here? And we're going to find out as they come down the turn, as the 5 is definitely making some ground up on the 2. Jockey hasn't asked the 2 to go, but it sure looks like he's tiring to me. And you got the 5 horse about to go by him. You have the 3 on the outside, maybe going to try to make a run. The 1 on the rail is going to dash into the inside. It's going to go, it's going to be 3. It's going to go 1, 3, and good effort by the 2 at the end, but 1, 3, and 2, Terry. Neither one of us getting off to a very good start. Although you do, you had the 2 and the 3, but you didn't have the 1, unfortunately.
I did not have the 1. Nope.
All right. Coming in from Puerto Rico, Jockey Ruiz coming from Puerto Rico. Watch this jockey on the number 4. Yes, Alicio Ruiz. And that Puerto Rican jockey school is tremendous in terms of putting out some good jockeys. As a matter of fact, on Wednesday, right now, an instructor down there will be the guest on Horse Center at 8 o'clock. So, Melvin, you're going to want to make sure you tune in for that. Yep. All right, so let's go back to race number 5, Terry. We went through the early pace. Let's talk a little bit about what the race shape looks like in this big field. All but the 8, 2, 4, 10, and 4 have very similar early pace, late pace numbers. So it's going to be a very competitive race, I feel like. The 10 horse does have the most early speed and sits in here as the lone EP horse, which should be an ideal position for this horse because none of these really show that they speed and hang on. These 2 pressure horses, again, they don't really show that they're going to press the lead. So that 10 horse can really decide if he wants to go faster or sit off the lead. And all these closers, well, that's where you find all your closers as well. So every horse in this race should get a trip that it's comfortable with, Terry. Which one's going to get the best trip and get the biggest check in your view?
Well, I like the number 7 is my top pick. All paid up. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race. Drops in class today. Then number 9 is my second pick, finished third versus similar in her last race and has the highest last race speed rating. And then number 4 is my third pick, Bold and Naughty. She finished third versus similar in her last race. Number 10 is the long shot for me, Diane's Comet. She should improve at today's distance as she likes to go to the front and lead to the finish line.
Wants to go all the way, like Chris Berman would say, right? He could go all the way. Number 9 for me, Gris Tormenta. So that's Tormenta. That's a storm, right? I think that's what they call tornadoes, tormentas, which I think is a perfect name for a tornado, right? A tormenta, torments you. Gris Tormenta, top last race speed figure with a nice closing push in its last race. Number 5, Crazy Serena. Have you ever met one that wasn't, Terry?
No.
I can't say I've ever met one, so I don't know. This one's taking a very big drop in class after 2 brutal races. The question is, will that be enough for this horse? Number 10, Diane's Comet. Lone EP horse, as we mentioned, in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. This one could benefit as well from the race getting a little bit shorter here. And finally, number 1, which just won that last race. Maybe it's going to be the day of ones. Lady Bernadette's early speed candidate here. It gets a 10-pound weight break. And in this wide open race, why not? That weight can be a huge difference down the stretch. And then I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. I like the 5 and the 9 here. The 5, 9, and 10 with the 1, 4, 5, 9, and 10. I'll probably regret not just boxing my 4 because watch that one horse win at a price.
Yeah, watch that.
Yeah, that's kind of how that works out sometimes, right? That Murphy's Law of horse racing.
Uh-huh.
Race 6 is, and is this another 6 furlonger? I think it is. 7,500 non-winners won in a year. The purse here is 21 grand. They got some nice purses at Parx. That's why I think they get deep fields, Terry, and get good. You know, you get racing every single day in deep fields.
Oh yeah, that works that really well.
You picked the wrong horse, needed a closer en route. 8 did fade. Angle played out perfectly well. Watch it too for the repeat all day check chart, and you'll see it was claimed. All right, we'll make sure we see that it was claimed. So I see what you're saying. So what you're saying, Charles, is it gets claimed and then they fade it so they can play it next time out. I get it now. Race number 6, again, 6 furlongs, tactical speed, about a third go wire to wire. Post positions are mostly fair, not a whole lot to penalize you. In race number 6, Terry, let's take a look at what the early shape looks like. We got our first couple of scratches in here for the day with number 3, Classy Solution, and a rocking cowboy. He's not going to be rocking today. He's going to be sitting down, maybe in a rocking chair. But it sure looks like that 2-horse Terry. He's got a lot of speed, and it still could be a good value.
Yeah, that's true. It's good overlay, and the 2 will go out with the 5, but I think the 2 most likely will be a little farther ahead than the 5. And like you said, that the really nice overlay there.
Yeah, the 2-horse all the way down to 1 to 2 could still, and with the scratches in here, I do think the 2 will probably take on more money than it would have otherwise, but he was still going to take on a ton of money. The 7-horse, as we mentioned, is out. One that could have threatened a 2 early on. The 3-horse is out as well. Another one. So that should just really accentuate the early speed for the 2-horse, who also has a +6 early pace, late pace combination. So it should run a complete race from the beginning to the end. One horse in here that I do think can threaten him is the 5-horse. It is a closer, but again, it's normal gallop when the gates open, provided they don't hang on to the reins like they did to the 6-horse there. The last race should be one that is closer to the front and can use those late legs to get home. But can he beat that 1, Terry? Well, I mean, that 2. I'm sorry, the 2. Yeah. Can he beat the 2?
No, I think the 2 is going to win it. High velocity. Won his last race at Parx Racing. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed, his fastest among today's starters. He actually tied with another horse. And the jockey in the last 7 days have been in the money. 10 out of 16 starts, winning 7 of those. Then I do like that closer, the 5. He ran second in his last race, has the highest last speed rating. He's actually tied with the 2, and has a trainer in the last 14 days has won 3 out of 4 races and a second. So he's 100%. And then number 4 is my third pick, Golden Spoke. He does well at Parx Racing, finishing the money 52% of the time and winning 14% of those starts. He can handle this distance as he's been in the money 58% of the time at this distance, and he's won 25% of those starts. I like the number 1 as my long shot, rejected again, drops in class again. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter. And, you know, I'm going to play a pick 4. I'm going to play the 2, 4, 5 with the 4, 6, 7, with the 2, 3, 9, Am I going to finish up with the 3-9?
3-9. I'm going to start. We have the same for horses. Clearly, Terry's in my computer again. Got to get him out of there. High velocity does have the top early speed in this spot. Top late pace figure as well. You can't pass what you can't catch, and has that early speed, late speed combination advantage over the rest of the field. Number 5, Brighthorn, left arrow horse, did tie for the top last race speed figure. Today, going to get a little bit less weight to carry around the track. Could be useful. Number 4, Golden Spoke, did run much faster fractions in its last race. The hard part for me is this horse just fades at the end of every race. Finally, number 1, Charles, the story of our Charles is high school dating life, rejected again. First 2 at Parx were horrible, but a bullet workout on January 27th says maybe things have changed for this horse. Like you, I'm going to do a pick 4 as well, 50 cent. 2-5, those are the 2 best horses in this race, with the 1-6, with the 3-9, and then the 1-7 and 3 on the back end. So a real hot dog pick 4 for me. In race number 7, we're going to move forward one more spot. We're going to run again 6 furlongs. Terry, if you got, like I said, you're going to get a belly full of 6 furlong races today. Again, stalkers, 31% go wire to wire. When you take a look at the post positions, really not a whole lot of damage done. Although you probably want to stay away from horses that are wearing the 2 or the 3 because they're a little bit under par. And a horse with an 8 and out gets a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the field. When the gates open, Terry, who has the best advantage early speed-wise?
Well, the 5, 7, and 8 look like it, especially the 5. And so they'll probably all go out and be one of those are going to be in front at the quarter. And then the overlays should be the 1 and the 4, and the 1's a really nice overlay. So,
yeah, indeed, it looks like it's going to be all the way down to 3-5.
Yeah,
from a 3-1 morning line. Let's see how much the bettors take that one down. Bravo, Cartel. Yeah, bravo, Cartel. You got that 1 horse in there. Way to go. That's why I said we really want people to put their picks up here for us as well, because if there's something you really like, share it with us, because we want to make sure we find as many winners as possible, whether they come from Terry and I, or they come from Charles or Cartel, or they come from Muzaffar, or they come from Melvin, whomever they come from. Keep them coming. That's the name of the game. In race 7, we got a ton of early speed in here, Terry. Look at all of these horses that want to be towards the front. All of these that are squared off, the 2, the 7, the 8, the 5, man, they want to go fast. The 3 horse should try, but probably in tough against this spot. With all of this early speed, I would think something back here might do pretty well. You got this 1 horse with the most late pace, a PC type, so versatile. It's going to sit exactly where it wants with a +6 early pace, late pace combination in the field. If not the 1, then the 6 also has some charge as they're coming towards the wire, Terry. How do you got it?
Well, I think a closer is going to win it too, and I chose the number 4, BB Bad, as the closer I want to see win it. He has finished in the money in his last 4 races, won 2 of those races. He can handle the distance. Number 7 is my second pick. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has a trainer who wins 40% of the races when he drops a horse off a claim. And then number 6 is my 3rd choice in Sky We Trust. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 2 starts. Number 5 is my long shot, Ego Man. Won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. No bet for me in this race.
So Pedro is asking about race number 2. We'll pop back to race number 2 real quick. Pedro, you can see here, we like the 7. Terry likes a 7, 3, 10, and 1. I have the 7, 2, 7, 10, 2, and 6. Terry's going to do a pick 4 in race number 2 with the 4, 3, 7, 10, with the 1, 4, 6, with the 1, with the 3, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do an exact the 2, 6, 7, 10 over to 7 and 10. My picks in race number 7, I'm going to go with that 1 horse that should get that perfect trip in there, Terry, as the lone PC horse, and there's plenty of speed in here to chase, as we saw. Does have the top late pace, and if you combine the early race and late race numbers, has a 6-point edge over everybody else. Number 1, In Sky We Trust. Trainer Scott Lake has dropped the horse off the win 6 times in 2013, and 5 of them won the next time out. That's a big number. Number 5, Eagle Man, is the lone EP horse, going to sit between right behind that wall of speed. Does have better in-race numbers across the board last effort. Potential upgrade from the 3rd race off a layoff. And finally, number 4, George Thoroughgood's Bad, at Parx, pretty good. 10 races, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Also has some late push. Again, plenty of burners in this race for that 4-horse to chase down Terry's top pick. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta in here. I like the 1 and the 6 as the 2 horses to beat, with the 1, 5, 6, with the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for my trifecta. In race 8, we're finally going to get away from 6 furlongs, Terry, and we're going to move back to where we started. So keep in mind what we saw in race number 1, where a horse from off the pace came to win. That's not always necessarily the way things work out, because so far the bias at 1 mile and 70 yards has favored tactical speed, with 32% going wire to wire. There is a strong rail bias. We just saw that come through in race number 1. 2 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. There is a little bit of a penalty in race number 8. Terry, how do you see this early speed? Anybody going to catch that 4?
I don't know. That looks like that 4's got a lot of speed. The only other one that's close, there's actually 2 of them, is the 3 and the 9. But then the 9 is a nice overlay. It's supposed to be less than even money, and 3 to 1 on the morning line. So
if we go back to race number 5, Cartel, who had that one, has the 7 with the 9-2 in race 5. And then in race 6, it's going to solo up that 2 in race 6. That was a number I think we both liked in that spot there as well. In race number 8, Terry, our way to the winner circle worksheet is going to tell us that race 8's up here. This race is kind of another one that I think is going to be a tactical race. There's nobody really needs the lead. As you can see, we have a couple of EPs and pressure types in here. So I think this quartet's probably going to go towards the front, maybe not run the fastest of fractions. The 4, the 2, and the 9 have the most early speed, at least as of late. The 8 horse in here is one I'm just going to toss out. I have him labeled as a never close horse. So that's one less horse for us to consider. The 3 horse has the most late speed if they go too fast. But once again, we find one horse in here, the 9, that if you add the early part and the late part of the race, has a strong advantage over the rest of the field. Terry, do you see that 9 horse as competitive?
I absolutely do. It's my pick of the day for this track. Number 9, Social Group, finished in the money in his last 7 races. He won 2 of those, has the highest last speed rating. He's actually tied with another horse. My second pick's number 3. He's won 3 races out of the last 6 and has the highest speed rating at today's last race. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, my third pick, Paradise Pride, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 30% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. And the jockey in the last 7 days, as I've said previously, has won 7 out of 16 starts. I like the 7 as my long shot, ran second in his last race at Parx Racing. I'm going to bet a pick 4 here with the 2, 3, 9, then go with the 1, 3. Then I have a 1, 5, 8, and then I'm going to finish up with the 3, 5, 12. I want to bet $9 to win on the 9.
You should have did that in the next race. 9 to win on the 9 in race 9, Terry. Just kept it cubing. Some numerology in play there.
That's
absolutely. I like in race number 8 the 3 horse, and here is my top choice. That is Wizard Surat. Much better pace numbers through the first half mile in that first start for trainer Alfredo Velasquez after being claimed. So now let's see if we can improve on that and add some late pace to that. I like the 9 horse too, Terry. Social Group claimed. This horse is constantly claimed. I think if I look back, it was claimed like 10 races in a row. It's another one that bumped up its early race effort last time out and has, as I said, the best combination of early speed and late speed. Paradise Pride gets the 3rd choice for me. This again, Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, combination we haven't seen a lot of lately, but it looks like it's coming back to 4. Was the beaten favorite at the higher level last time out? But this horse has run at Parx 3 times and is yet to find the board. So maybe not a horse for the course, maybe anti-horse for the course. And then closing it out with number 1, Skillful, drops to a level that really looks like it's a good fit to me. I wonder if they're trying to maybe get this horse bought. I'm going to do a pick 4 as well with the 3, 9, with the 1, 3, and 7, with the 6 and the 8, with the 3, 5, 12, and then also putting in that also eligible at the end, the 14 in race number 11. Let's step forward to race number 9, where we're going to run 1 mile for the first time today, Terry. We're going to see a 1 mile race. And at 1 mile, you'll see that there is a very strong speed bias as early speed wins the races. And 53% of the time, in this optional claiming 16,000 per 57 grand race. At 53% of the time at a mile, they go wire to wire. And there is a very strong inside 3 bias, particularly with the rail. So Date Night Kisses could be tough to beat, Terry. And Date Night Kisses maybe part of the early pace, but looks like you're going to be chasing the 7.
That's right. 7's got more speed than almost anything in there, and I'd be very shocked if he didn't have the lead at the quarter. But as far as overlay goes, as you said, the 1 looks like it's pretty nice overlay. Just a little bit over even money is what they think it's going to be, and the morning line says it's 3-1.
Yeah, I think that one will get bet down too, Terry, as well. Our way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 9. Again, we see this race is kind of front loaded with speed in here, Terry. A lot of the horses are either pressure types or speed types or early speed and pressure types. The 7 and the 6 do have the most jet fuel when the rockets are launched. You'll see those two do pretty well. The 1 horse, which should sit right wherever it wants comfortably, does have the most late pace. Second best late pace behind the 1. The 1 and the 2, they're 1-2 in terms of the early speed, late speed combinations as well. This 8 horse all the way back here, a lone closer. I hate these lone horses by themselves, Terry, especially if they don't grade out well, because it seems like they always wreak havoc on my tickets. Is the 8 going to wreak havoc on yours?
I don't know. I don't have it picked. I like the 1, Date Night Kisses. She's won 2 races out of the last 3. The rail post is winning, as you said, as a 25% clip. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, so she marks a lot of boxes off. Then number 3, Mercy. Mercy has won the only race she has competed in at Parx Racing, and she drops in class today. And then number 6, Flash and Dynamite, is my 3rd pick, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then I like the 7 as my long shot. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, and it was at Parx Racing. I'm going to bet $5 to win on the number 1.
Good morning, DC Capper. How are you feeling today? A little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. Were you for the Chiefs? Were you for the Eagles? If you were the Chiefs, it was holding. If you're the Eagles, it was not holding. Although the player himself said he held it. But, I mean, that kind of stuff I think happens on every play, and you certainly can't decide the Super Bowl, in my opinion, on a questionable holding call. But in any case, on to horses. I like in this race the 1 as well, Date Night Kisses. Gets that huge rail bonus. When she wins big. So we'll see if she can add to that big win total today. Number 7, Chronology. You absolutely have to play this horse. It has a really big chance to get to the lead, where so far 53% have gone wire to wire. So this horse has an 88% chance to get to the lead. And then you multiply that by 50, there's a 40% chance that this horse goes wire to wire. 40%, I think those odds are something like 8-5, somewhere like that, Terry.
Yeah.
So all the way down 8-5, Chronology is a value play, in my opinion. May not win, but from a probability standpoint, you have to play it. Mercy, Mercy Me from Marvin Gaye won the Lone Parx race with ease. Last time out was 4 wide through the turns, and I think it was at Aqueduct. So maybe a little better trip here. Today will be from Michael Sanchez will be the difference for Mercy, Mercy. And then finally, number 6, Flash Dynamite, run at Parx 21 times, winner of 12 of those races. But this one is an odd drop for me, Terry, coming from optional claiming 45,000 at Aqueduct, where she was competitive, down to this level. Something smells funny to me with Flash of Dynamite. Looks to me like maybe they're trying to unload this horse. I'm going to do $1 double, 137 with the 8 in race number 10. 2 races left to go. And that includes race number 10, where we go to 6.5 furlongs for the first time today. 6.5 furlongs, Terry, does favor horses that have a little bit of early speed as well. 31% of the horses have gone wire to wire. There is an outside to inside bias in this optional claiming $35,000 race. Non-winners of 2. Purse is a nice $58,000. And in race number 10, Terry, we see that the 1 and the 8, the inside and the outside, boom, when the gates open.
Yeah, you just took my line there, inside to the outside. Anyway, yeah, the 1
is it either Great Minds or is it too predictable? Which one is it?
Yeah, I don't know which one. I think it's Great Minds. Anyway, Yeah, those two horses have the most speed. Although be careful, that Hero Tygo, the 5's got some speed too. And then the overlays are going to be the 1 and the 8. The 1 has a really nice overlay, and the 8 has a pretty good one too. So anyway.
And the way this race shapes up as well is the 8 and the 1, just like we figured, are the ones that are going to get to the lead. The 8 horse is going to probably be your pace setter because it wins. It wins going wire to wire. Additionally, it has the 3rd best late speed in here. The one that does have the most late speed is the 2 horse, and the 4 is the 2nd best in here. Every horse in this race should absolutely get a trip it's comfortable with, Terry. So who's going to be the most comfortable and take home the W flag?
All right. Well, I like in this race number 8, Twisted Ride. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 1, 5 Dreams is my second choice. Finished in the money in his last 7 races. He won 3 of those and drops in class today. Then number 4, Rob the Rich. He finished 3rd in his last race.
Isn't that just called taxes?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. They tax everything. Even when they call it a fee, it's a tax. But anyway, and he actually ran 3rd in his last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. My long shot is number 6. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I don't have any money left to make any bets.
Poor guy. I like the 8 horse Twisted Ride in here. Is the lone E horse with a plus early pace, late pace combination. I think you're going to see this horse in the course of the race make a big mid move at Parx. 10 races, 4 wins, 2 seconds, and 2/3. Number 6, Alivare. Been off since July, but the work's getting ready here. Say this horse is ready to run today. Number 1, 5 Dreams. Strong speed number trend higher. It is the 3rd start off a layoff, but when you rewind, this horse sometimes regresses in race 3 in a 3-race cycle. And then finally, number 2, Fast Bob. Top late pace, not really fast in this case, but he'll be fast at the end for sure. Dexter Haddock and trainer Michael Moore together, that jockey-trainer combination has run together 2 times so far in 2023. They brought home the big check in both of them with the $4.50 positive ROI, 50-cent trifecta for me, 6-8 with the 168 with the 1, 2, 6, and 8. Race 2 is about to get cracking here, Terry. Here are our picks for race number 2. You have a pick 4 in this spot. I'm going to do an exacta 2, 6, 7, 10 with the 7, 10. One horse in here that neither one of us has, that's the favorite, is the 9 horse in a race that I said I thought was pretty much wide open. I wanted to press the all button here. And if you look at the 9 horse at 7-2 currently as your favorite, looks like the simulator got it right because it's putting in their 7-2 odds.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, not too bad. The 7 horse that we both have up top right now is 5-1. Then the next horse in there, the 4 horse now moved into some favorite status as well. He's tied with the 9 horse. They're both at 7-2. Again, I think this race is a wide open race. Anything can happen in here, Terry. I wouldn't be surprised to see a price come home. So between you have the 3, the 7, and the 10. It looks to me like you want the 3 horse to win in terms of your pick 4.
Yeah, and it appears that Ahmet in the second race wants the 9 over the 3. And also Kathleen in the 7th race, she likes the 8, it looks like.
Race 7, yes, the 8 horse in race number 7. Thank you, Kathleen. We appreciate that. That didn't show up right away for me in there. Thank you for bringing that out, Terry.
You're welcome.
And Catherine and Ahmad, we appreciate your picks. And if, like Diane Johnson, while you're watching, if you haven't done so yet, thumbs up on Facebook is appreciated. She gave us a heart. We really appreciate that. Yeah. YouTube as well. And follow us on our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Horse Race Today. We got a lot of great content coming out in 2023. Some new article writers. We've got a wonderful article coming out tomorrow from our intern Allison on Jessica Paquette, who is the track announcer. She'll join us on Horse Center tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss that. And we're not going to miss the start of race number 2, as you have the 2 horse now looking like it wants to get engaged after a little bit of a sluggish start. It's got the lead. To the outside of the 2 horse is the 8 horse. And then the 1 on the rail. The 5 horse is all the way in the back there, Terry, by itself. So you got the 2 horse. Jovial on the front, just as we suspected it might be. The 8 horse, according to the simulator, would be second. He is second in there. The 6 horse now joining it. That's the 1 horse that's joining it on the rail. So they go to the opening quarter in this 7 furlong race in 23-1. So that's not that fast, I don't think, Terry.
Nope.
And then the 2 horse going to start going into the turn on the lead. It's now the 2 and the 1. They're making some separation from the rest of the pack. Here comes your 3 horse up on the rail. That opening quarter, 26-4, a little bit on the fast side, I feel like, Terry.
All right.
And as they come through the turn, it does look like the 2 is starting to tire a little bit. The 1 is gaining ground. I suspect, Terry, you're going to be upset when your 4th pick wins this race.
Yes, I will be. Nice 7-1 too.
But here comes the 3 horse. It's starting to make a little bit of a rally, but no, it's not going to be. It's going to go 1, 2, and then the 10, it looks like to me.
Oh boy, too
1,
bad.
2, and 10. Yeah, I thought this race was wide open. I like I said, I if I could have, I would have alled this race. I think I had the 1 horse was my next pick too, and then my 5th pick as well. But we don't get to make 5 picks.
No, we don't have enough money to do all that.
And on top of that, that's what back-to-back ones. So maybe there's some rail bias today. Keep an eye on that and see if that continues to play out through the rest of this day. Final race on the card, Terry. Maybe, who knows? Maybe the 1 horse is going to win this race, but we do know in race number 11 that the 7, the 10, 11, and I think the 14 is in this race, Terry. I think you scratched out the wrong
Is he?
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In race number 10, I think it's the 13 that's out.
Okay.
In race number 11.
I should have double checked that.
Yes, no, it's the 13 is out. The 14 is in. So let me correct that real quick. And then
should have corrected that. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, well, there we go. Now we got it correct. So the 14 is in this race. In race number, the last race of the day, race number 11. We're going to go back to 6 furlongs, claiming 7,500, non-winners of 2 lifetime. Again, we talked about tactical speed is the way to win at 6 furlongs. 31% go wire to wire. In fact, stalkers probably do the best. Post position and post 4, 5, 6, and 7, they're all pretty fair. 2 and 3, a little bit of a discount. 8 and out gets a bonus. For the last time today, Terry, take us through what the simulator says.
Yeah, it looks like to me like the 8 is got a lot of speed along with the 12. So those 2 are probably going to break out there. A little bit of speed with the 5 and the 6. And then the overlays should be the 12. So
indeed. And then for the final time as well, our way the race shapes up, you got 3 horses in here. Well, we got the scratches. The 10 is out, the 11 out, the 13 out, the 7 is out. Got a couple of others that I just tossed out as well. The 2 and the 4 as never close types. So you got speed up here versus closers back here. That's the way this race shapes up. And the question is, who's going to win that? Usually in this scenario, Terry, I'm going to lean towards the horses over here as the most likely horses to get to the winner's circle, because I'd rather have in a deep field horses that are closer to the front than horses that are in the back. What do you think is going to happen when this one's over? Is the 1 horse going to win yet again?
I don't know, but I like the 5-2 color map as my first pick. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. Has a high speed figure at today's rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer. I like this number 3 as my second, and I like the name Ducky Goose. He finished 3rd versus.
Is that your favorite game as a little kid, Duck Goose, Terry?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, he finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. So he can handle the distance too. And then I like the 12 as my 3rd pick. Finished 3rd in his last race, and then 9 is my long shot. He's about the multiply, and he has a jockey in the last 7 days has won 4 out of 8 starts, and in returning to the sprint should help him. No bet, no money left.
So in race number 2, it went 1, 2, 10, and 4. So we had them all, Terry. We just didn't have them in. I wish I had the one in there too. But the one paid $16.20 to win. The 2, $12.40 to place.
Wow.
The 10 horse, and then you got a $1 exacta 1, 2, $87.10, and then the $1 trifecta 1, 2, 10 paid $375.40. And the other day, Sean and I were having a conversation. He says when he watches the races with Blake always wants to know where's the 1 and where's the 2.
Yeah.
So Sean said, well, you know what? I watch all the time. I see 1-2 comes together a lot in exactas. So he said on Saturday, he started playing 1-2s and not one came in. And then on Sunday, it came in over and over and over again. So hopefully Sean played the 1-2 in race number 2 at Parx today in Blake's honor. I like the 5-horse in here, 2-color map as my top choice. Did run the best speed figure last time out. And then today gets to carry a little less weight for it. Number 12, Dadashev. Better fractions last time out at 7 furlongs than it ran in 6 furlongs in the race before. Most always a sign of a horse that's getting better. The 3-horse, Terry's favorite game as a kid and as a senior citizen, Ducky Ducky Goose. Another that ran better fractions last out and also catches a little bit less weight to carry around the track today. And then finally, 14, Angelus Diamond. 10-pound weight break, and then trainer Felix Flores Coba wins at a nice 23% when taking his horses from a route to a sprint. I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta. Hopefully I catch one of these in the course of the day. 3, 5, 12 with the 5, 12 with the 3, 5, 6, 12, and 14. Again, here are our full picks for this day. Terry, what are your final thoughts before we get up and get out of here?
Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. This is a good start of the week. I'm looking forward to this week, and I hope that the weather stays nice. At least it's nice here. Everybody should tell their loved ones how they feel because you never know what's going to happen. So,
indeed. And one of the ways you can tell them how you feel if horse racing fans is go down to the description below. In it, you'll see a link to Winning Touches. They got a lot of great gifts there for everybody of all ages, even people my and Terry's age. They got some old stuff in there. I don't see any of it on the screen now. A lot of fantastic horse racing gifts. And maybe one of the ways you could kind of pay for that is to go on over to Picks with the Professor, see what he's got cooking in college basketball today. His Patreon plays of the day are winning 53% of the time with a positive ROI of 5.3. Again, you can see that down in the description below. And if you're playing Mahoning Valley today, please also, there is a link in the description down below to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, in which is, you'll see that it's the free track today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, which is Mahoning Valley, which is, I think, running right now, right?
yeah, they probably are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can find that down below. Again, join Sean and Jamie tonight for trainer Jason Evans. Tomorrow, they'll have on Jessica Paquette, and on Wednesday, the instructor at the Puerto Rican Racing Academy. So a lot of great stuff content-wise. I will get out the Gulfstream Park stuff in the next couple of days, as well as Tampa and our trip to Palm Meadows with Kent Sweezy. Tomorrow, Terry, you and I will be back to try Parx once again, man.
That's right.
And then on Wednesday, I'll be joined by Charles for Gulfstream on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll do Aqueduct. And it's a big weekend. It's another very big Kentucky Derby race for the points with the Risen Star. We'll have a wagering guide over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You're going to want to make sure you check that out. And finally, Cartel for race number 7 likes the 1, race number 8, the 7, the 5, and the 2, and race number 9, the 1, the 2, and the 3. I think you just pick ones all day, and you're likely to find winners, Terry. Whether you're playing the 1, you're playing basketball, you're in Turkey, you're in Venezuela, you're in Chicago, you're in DC, you're in the Golden State, right? Is that what they call it? The Golden State.
Yeah, that's right. Golden State.
Indeed. No matter where you are in this world today, we hope that your day, your night, your afternoon, whatever it is for you, ends up in one place, Terry, and that can only be
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for joining us again. Subscribe, like, tell your friends about us, and have a fantastic Money Monday.